rare because of the fact that we tend to start earlier. I mean, we start at 7:30, and our classes are shorter in duration, so you could cram in more in the morning here, and then open up your afternoons to take your college classes. I know a lot of you are student athletes, though. That's going to be probably the biggest obstacle. If you're still looking to play sports, there may not be a whole lot we can do. We will try, but you still have to take 5 classes somehow. Either a mixture of, let's say, 2 at the college level and 3 here at Buckeye Valley, and you're still going to try to fit all that in before 3 p.m. when your coach expects you out on the practice field. It may be a decision that you and your family have to think seriously about. If you find an online class, or an evening class, or maybe a class in the semester that you're not an athlete, great. We'll work with you that way. But I'm just advising you that being an athlete does pose some obstacles to schedule. I'm almost done with my part, and then we will hear a little bit from our college reps. I briefly just kind of alluded to this a moment ago. High school athletes must still be in 5 classes. This really does apply to anyone, athlete or non-athlete, but it's of utmost importance when it comes to maintaining your high school eligibility. But again, remember, 1 class in the college constitutes, for safety's sake, I like to say 1 high school credit, but we could, in some instances, even consider it 2. And I'd have to speak with you one-on-one to kind of go over the details of that. It could be a little confusing. Bottom line, try to be in at least 5 classes each semester. That's the safest way to go if you're talking about maintaining your high school athletic eligibility. You are still Buckeye Valley students, though, so you are absolutely eligible to participate. You could be members of any club, organization, theater, drama, extracurricular, student council. You're still very much a Buckeye Valley student. So, potential risks and potential benefits. Start with the good. Expansive curriculum. There are, as I mentioned, hundreds of classes that are available to you. As long as you meet certain prerequisites, there's a lot out there. More than what we are possibly able to offer. Provides the student the opportunity to study in depth. So, like to fine tune a little bit. I've got one young man this year doing some engineering courses. That's what he intends to major. So, we don't offer engineering. We offer honors physics, we honor AP calculus, courses that are meant to prepare any pre-engineering student. We don't offer, by definition, engineering classes here. Allows students to earn college credit, financial support, and to experience college-level work prior to making decisions about whether and where to attend college. However, some of the risks and consequences. Increased responsibility for learning. Again, that whole notion of a professor treating you like an adult because you are a college student. You come down with mono and it puts you down for 2 weeks. That professor may not be as forgiving as one of your teachers here. May not accept that note from mom or dad saying, I'm sorry, Johnny had the flu over the weekend and he didn't get his 12-page paper done. So there is increased responsibility. Reduced time for participating in high school athletics. Like I mentioned, athletes are going to have to work that balance out, and it is difficult. Could be some increased financial obligations. Really, not much to speak of. Transportation, going out to lunch, maybe that's a little bit of your cost, as long as you're passing the classes. But decreased time for employment, that could cut into your income as well. If you're taking some of these college courses that extend beyond 3 p.m., and that's typically when you would have been reporting to work, bear that in mind. Possible effect on GPA and class standing. Increased time for travel and study. Keep in mind, I've already kind of mentioned this, the weather, spring breaks, other holidays, And then you will be treated like an adult by your professor. Could be good and bad. Everybody wants to be treated as an adult. I don't blame you. But there's also something to be said for still being a kid at times. Okay, a couple very important forms, and then I'll bring up our guests if they'd like to share some of their particular program. We will have time for questions and answers at the end. I failed to mention that at the beginning. Plus, we will have all three representatives, Columbus State, Ohio State, Marion Tech, in the front of the library, kind of as a mini college fair, if you have specific questions about their program after they go over some of their information. Yeah, here we go. Okay. This form, it's the second to last sheet. I debated whether to put it on the very back because it's the first form that's required, but I figured if you cut the bottom of it, you're not messing up your packet too much. And this is the first form that needs to be turned in to me, so that's why I put it next. Sign and return this form no later than April 1st. However, our offices are closed the week of March 28th through the 25th. So, March 25th. Just have it in your mind, it's going to be in by March 25th. You can read information. I will have this packet along with some of the college's information on the Buckeye Valley Guidance website, hopefully as soon as tomorrow. You can read through a little bit more, click on some of those hyperlinks to find specific questions that you're looking for. This is essentially the meeting that is required, a counseling session. So once you've kind of read through that and yeah, you're interested in it, again, it's not binding, it's not a commitment. You're not telling me, yes, I'm applying to Ohio State or Columbus State or Marion Tech, and Mr. Longo's going to come after me, hounding me, why didn't I apply by May 1st? No, it's going to be up to you. It's going to be up to you to still take the next step, but this is just the very first step. Letting us know, letting the district know, for planning purposes, for funding purposes, who might be taking college credit. And then after you take a number of steps, turning in that half sheet of paper to the guidance office, applying to your universities, often by May 1st, but they may have even earlier deadlines than that. Taking the April ACT, so they have a benchmark score to look at to see if you are college ready. Maybe setting up an orientation with an advisor or within a group, and actually getting on their websites to register for classes. And maybe that means getting up at midnight so that you can be one of the first ones to sign up for a class that you know is going to be in high demand, and it's going to fill up by 12:08 a.m. Yes, that does happen sometimes. That's all part of signing up for college classes. After you've taken all those steps, then bring in this form. This will be like our final counseling session. Usually takes place in May or June when I'm sitting down with you and I'm seeing what you want to take at Ohio State, Columbus State, or Marion Tech, and when those classes are offered and how we can work your schedule here at BV to accommodate you. The last page is the final step. Okay. I am going to give the floor first to Ms. Michelle Ward from Columbus State. Does anyone have any questions about the nuts and bolts of the program? Not specific to their university, but about the program. Yes?
And how do you, when you take your AP classes, your honors classes here, and they're weighted?
Yes.
Are college classes weighted
Yes.
the same way?
Okay, great question. The question was, when you take a weighted class here, AP or CAP or honors physics or honors language, we give an extra point. 5 points for an A, and so on. Yes, any college credit plus course that is in a content area that we would weight, we also will weight the same way. A 5 for an A, a 4 for a B, a 3 for a C, and so on. So that means any English course, any math course, any science course, and any social studies course. Not rock climbing. A rock climber did not get 5 points for his A, but just about any other content course. All right, I will have more time for questions. Let's go ahead and have Ms. Michelle Ward come on up. Sure.
So first of all, I want to say congratulations for coming out, because you're taking a big step in earning a little bit of money for college, possible. And in addition to doing college credit and getting those classes underway, this is also a great opportunity for students to get some workforce credentials. So that way, if you're going off to a school and just coming back in the summers, you can get better jobs. You can get an HVAC certificate or an STNA certificate, and then use your summertime to do something beyond just working at a local restaurant. So there's a lot of different opportunities for you to take advantage of your CCP credits, you know, beyond just that English, math, and history classes that we generally think of with gen ed requirements or general education requirements. Speaking for myself, I was a CCP student back when it was called concurrent enrollment, and you know, just went to my local community college, not Columbus State, so I'm not shilling my program, and did some basic history English classes. And it was great. I got a year of college credit out of the way between that and AP classes that I was taking at my high school. And I did the math on it. It saved my family about $20,000 because I graduated from college in 3 years instead of 4. So in addition to 1 year of tuition that, you know, I took care of through AP and concurrent enrollment, my parents didn't have to pay for me to hang out in a dorm room and eat ramen noodles for an additional year. So, I mean, it was a huge savings for making college more affordable for me, personally. I was ready for it, so that's obviously something for you guys to talk about amongst your families. But in terms of getting started at Columbus State, we're an open access institution. So we don't have admissions criteria that will determine whether you can get in to Columbus State to take classes, but we do want to make sure that you're college ready. And we determine that in 2 basic ways: ACT scores or the Compass placement exam. So on the ACT, we don't necessarily, or we don't look at a composite score. What we're looking for is an 18 or higher on the English subtest, a 22 or higher on math, and a 21 or higher in reading. So those are the college benchmarks for saying you're ready to step right into college level classes. Below that, students would be put into developmental classes, and unfortunately those aren't eligible for the CCP funding. And really that's saying, well, you're ready, you should be in high school level math or high school level English. So 18, 22, 21 is what we're looking for in those different areas. And I have the papers in the back, so if you didn't catch it. That's what we're looking for on the ACT. If you're juniors and maybe haven't taken the ACT yet, the Compass placement exam is an in-house placement test, math, English, reading, just those 3 subjects, and it determines, just like the ACT does, whether you're ready for the college level classes. Beyond that, you really have access to all of the programs that we have. We've got our general ed classes that are in our Associate of Arts and Science, and that's going to look a lot like your histories and your maths and your English. And then, of course, our career tech programs. For high school students, the whole catalog's pretty much open to you. I don't see any like middle schoolers in there, but if anyone's a little bit younger than some of the medical classes, we ask that you be a little older because you'll actually be, you know, doing stuff with patients, and you need a little bit more age on. The process is really simple. Students can apply. It's an online application only, and from there we'll actually get you into the system and you'll start receiving some emails from us, and we need copies of your ACT. So if you took the ACT, send that in, and you can send that right to College Credit Plus at cscc.edu. Or come in and take our placement exam. So once we have those 2 things, we can formally accept students into Columbus State, and you'll be assigned an academic advisor. And that's when you really start to have that conversation about which classes are best for you, and kind of be a little bit steered towards some of the pathways that Mr. Longo was showing you, and thinking about what classes are most appropriate for you, given your desired major. So that's basically it. It's a pretty simple 3-step process, and I do have all the dates and deadlines on my table in the back. Any questions about Columbus State particularly? There is no separate application if you're thinking online Delaware campus or the downtown campus. For some of you who live maybe further north in Columbus, we also have like Dublin, Westfield, that it's all open to. We have a single application, so you don't commit yourself to one campus or one mode of studying when you apply to Columbus State. Okay.
Brandon? Next we have Brandon Mooney from Marion Tech.
Well, hey, how's your night? My name is Brandon Mooney. I'm the Director of Admission and Recruitment at MTC. Fairly new to MTC, been there since August. Prior to MTC, I was with a private university for about 10 years. The value of this program, I know it's really been stressed a lot this evening, but honestly, I can't stress that enough. My former institution ranged anywhere from $45,000 to about $55,000 a year. If you were in one of the specialty programs, it was around $60,000, and that's average for a private college in the state of Ohio. A lot of the private colleges are participating in some way, shape, or form. So even if you're taking credits through one of the public institutions, as it was said, you might still be able to take those with you to a private institution.